Hello everyone, and welcome to this WildStar Forums exclusive look at the WildStar adventure for the Dominion called Riot in the Void. But before we get into the specific adventure, I should probably explain what adventures are. Similar to dungeons, adventures are for 5 players and involve a series of mission objectives that revolve around the players choosing their way through the adventure. They're designed to be highly replayable because the choices you make determine what path you take through the adventure and determine what bosses you fight and what missions you do. There will be a total of 6 adventures, and 4 of those will have veteran modes for endgame characters. Now back to the adventure we'll be previewing today. For some background, this is a level 15 adventure that takes place in Astrovoid Prison, which is a rock in orbit around Nexus that houses dangerous exile prisoners. The Dominion believes escaping the prison is impossible, but 3 powerful exile prisoners have set out to prove them wrong, and they've manufactured a riot in the prison. With that being said, Carbine invited me here to run through this adventure with some other journalists, and our group leader is senior content designer Matt Tobiasen, and he's going to lead us through this adventure. So first things first, we land at the prison gate, but in order to proceed we need to blend in with the rioting exiles. So we put on some disguises and start heading towards the prison doors. As we do this, we need to be quick as the exiles are trying to snipe us from afar. We need to sprint from point to point until we reach the front door of the prison. I don't want to spoil the entire run for you guys, so I'll be skipping most of the traveling and trash mobs to get to the real meat of the adventure.
You took quick action. Adequately done.
Now that we've reached the prison, Matt leads us to the first junction in our adventure. These sections are really the heart of adventures. You'll see a box pop up on the left-hand side, and there's 3 choices to pick, or 3 separate ways we can go in this section. We're told to pick the middle one for this one, and to head to Rockbreaker Mine to secure mining equipment. The prisoners are trying to break into them and use them as weapons, so we start heading that way. Along the way, we run into some flashing objectives. While these aren't the mining equipment we're looking for, Matt tells us that they are other tool racks that we can disable. If we don't disable them, the rioting prisoners will grab tools off of them and use them as weapons, making them harder targets to take down. We finally made it to our objective, and as you can see, the weapon lockers need locked up. A neat little minigame of Simon Says comes up, making you remember a quick combination of colored inputs to further your objectives. Once we get the last one locked up, we're told to meet back up with another NPC, and you'll see another junction point comes up. This time Matt tells us we can pick whichever direction we want to go, and I decided to pick the last one called Yard Time. But as you can see, the winning vote was for the first objective, Shooting Gallery. So off we go, back to the beginning area where we started, as the turrets have turned against the Dominion troops, and we need to turn off those defense turrets. We don't quite make it to our objective, and 3 of us die. This is probably a good time to emphasize that this is all beta footage, and that the difficulty as it is in this version is tuned a little too high, which you'll see more of as we go on. At any rate, I'm able to res inside the adventure, and I'm happy to report that the res spot is right at the heart of our objectives, so at least I don't have to run a long ways to where we were. Again, you'll notice that in order to turn off the defense turrets, we need to play another minigame of Simon Says. And once we have all the turrets disabled, we're told that our objectives have changed and we need to get back to the prison, as an exile prisoner named Jarek needs to be dealt with. Oh, and on the way we die. Again. This time a total wipe. But luckily for us, we are rezzed right next to our exile enemy, Jarek. He's our first boss, and as such, we weren't quite ready for some serious coordinated combat. We lasted quite a while, but between the ads and the boss getting healed halfway through, it was just too much for our group and we wiped again. Thankfully, we had the devs on our side and a quick command from Matt, and Jarek was suddenly defeated, letting our group continue on for the sole purpose of experiencing the entire adventure. So with Jarek taken care of, we have another junction point and a decision on where to go next. This time we're down to only 2 choices as to where we can go next. We decided on the Demented Demolition mission and started heading back to the front gates where we were originally dropped off at the beginning of the adventure. We made it to our next objective just fine, and Matt tells us this objective is a holdout mission. Basically, we have to defend the gates for about 4 minutes while the exile prisoners storm toward us. We managed to pull together on this one and finish just fine, and once again our objectives changed and we needed to meet the warden back in his office for our final junction point. And we actually don't have a choice in this one. It's time to face the final boss. That boss is Professor Goldbaugh, or Goldbow, or Goldborough? Anyway, just getting to her is trouble. Cutting ropes to stop ads? Dead. Giant mechs to guard the boss? Dead. Third time's a charm, and we get to the boss. And dead. I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's tough. It's only level 15, and it's tough. But Carbine admitted that they haven't fully balanced adventures yet, and currently they are tuned a little too hard. That'll get fixed by release, I'd bet, and so I'm not worried one bit. You also might be asking yourself now, well, what do I get for finishing an adventure? Well, when we were done, and by the magic hands of the devs, Goldbaugh was slain by commands, we were treated with the end scene with the caretaker. Once completed, I received a bag of goodies containing a green chest piece. I also got some random food and a piece of decor. But what it doesn't show you is that during the entire run, I was also getting reputation gains for a specific group. Once you run an adventure 2 or 3 times through completion, you'll be able to spend those reputation points on some great armor and weapons as well. And that's it. That's our condensed run-through of Riot in the Void. If you want to see the entire run-through with all the deaths, trash mob kills, the whole shebang, I've uploaded the raw footage of the run, and you can find that link in the description below. Also, if you didn't see this video on the forums and want to join in on some great WildStar discussions, join us on the forums at wildstarforums.com, where you can learn everything there is to know about WildStar. Thanks again for watching, and hope to see you on the forums.